a lot of kids, they come over to me, oh, you're Shorty on Modern Family. And some kids remember Bronx Tale, and some kids remember the animation things that I did.
This one could be one of the great ones.
I haven't heard that in a while.
It's Rachel and John, and we're jagging around with Chazz Palminteri, who is coming to Pittsburgh this Saturday night to do the one-man show of A Bronx Tale. So first of all, welcome to Jagging Around with John and Rachel. This is probably the highlight of your career.
Well, it's a great moment. I have to put this in my bio, in fact. Yeah, no, I'm excited to come back to Pittsburgh. I was there some years ago, and I remember the one thing about Pittsburgh was when obviously people who know the story, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I still am till this day. And when I mentioned in the play about Bill Mazeroski's home run, it stopped the show. They were I just wasn't used to that. They just applauded. And I had to take a beat and go, wow, oh, that's right. I'm in Pittsburgh here. Bill Mazeroski is like a legend, you know? So that was a lot of fun.
Well, Pittsburgh loves Pittsburgh, and people know anytime you can mention something that has to do with Pittsburgh, they just go crazy. And we even did that with you when you got on. We said, do you remember that you were at the famous Mancini's bakery and you actually learned how to make a Mancini's twist? So now you're an honorary Pittsburgher. It's all good. That means you're going to fill every seat in the theater this Saturday.
I hope so. Yeah, it's looking good so far. But for people who don't know, this is the original show that I did 30-something years ago that De Niro saw.
Yep.
That's how the movie got made. You know, it's one of those stories, Hollywood stories. I was offered, went up to 250, 500,000, $1 million to walk away because they wanted to put a star on the role at the time and they wanted to have somebody else write it. But I said, look, it's my life and I want to play Sonny. And they said no. And I had $200 in the bank at the time. And I turned down $1 million. And then one night, De Niro walked in, saw the show, and as they say, the rest is history.
If we're sitting in the audience, what can we expect on Saturday?
Well, for people who don't know, I am Calogero. My real name is Calogero. Yeah. So I'm the little boy. In the movie, I was 9 years old, and I saw this killing that I saw. And, you know, people always go, you must have been traumatized. And I always say, no, I wasn't. You know, I just remembered it. I never forgot it. Obviously, it's something like that you don't forget. And it started my relationship with the wise guys in the neighborhood, this one guy in particular. And, you know, I always go, gee, I wonder what would have happened if I didn't see that killing, if my life had been the same, you know. But I've always wanted to be a writer. I always wanted to be an actor. So I guess that just, when the time came when I was like, broke and I said, well, I'm going to write something that's going to change my life. I really said that. I'm going to do a show, play all the parts, and this way they got to notice me on stage. And that's what I did. And my career just exploded after that. I mean, it was just pretty amazing, man.
This is your story, but we know that, you know, going through the process of TV and movie and writing a play, other people get their hands in the pie.
Okay, well, you're not going to believe this. Nobody had the hands in my pie.
Is that right?
You told them.
That's correct. The only guy who had hands in my pie when we talked about was Robert De Niro, where he talked, well, let's try this, let's try that. But I was blessed to have somebody like him who just, when the studios came in with all their notes, and I told them, I said, I'm not doing this. This is, originally they wanted Sonny to live at the end of it. And I said, no, he has to die. And they said, oh, that's a downer. That's what they said. I said, look, it's a catharsis. Sonny dies, so the boy learns. That's how it is. He realizes his father was right all along. Sonny has to die. And then I told Bob that, and Bob said, don't worry, you know, you want it, Sonny's going to die. And then they wanted to take out the whole race thing with the black girl. And I said, that's crazy. That's part of the young boys growing up. It's a tale. It's like Homer. It's a tale. And then finally, you know, Bob just told them not to talk to me anymore. So it was kind of
God love Bob. So people can actually meet you. Well, they can't walk up to you, but they can see you on stage here at the Carnegie Music Hall this weekend, this Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Saturday
And so,
night.
yeah. So are you excited?
You know, Alfred Hitchcock used to say there's only two things you can do to an audience. You can make them laugh. Oh, he said three things. You can make them laugh, you can make them cry, or you can scare them. And in Bronx Tale, I do all three.
It's at the Library Music Hall. You can go to librarymusichall.com for tickets.
The show that you're about to see, that was a hit on Broadway. This was the Broadway show, and it also won Best Show of the Year in Las Vegas. So come and
Wow.
see it.
And we hope we
Yes.
see you there because you don't want Chazz mad at you.
No, you don't know.